Alright everyone, so how about a walkthrough of the garden? Give you a little update on everything. So this is watermelons and spinning gourds. As you can see, I have a million spinning gourds. They're everywhere, just all over the place. This thing has been so productive. I'm gonna have to count all these little guys whenever we harvest them. Give you guys an idea of how many I actually got. And then over here, we have Cicadas, Melon, and Cantaloupe. Now, most of this stuff is about one plant. I think there's 3 cicadas, I think, 3 of them. And here's a little bitty fruit right there. And there should be some hanging out down here. Let's see. There we go. That one's about ready, actually. Look at that beauty. See if that's the only one. Nope. Look at that. We have several more right here. Look at all those. It's 3 of them. So we've got 4 melons here that I see. That's just what I see. There's another smaller one. And there's one down there on the ground. They're just everywhere. It's one of my favorite melons is these cicadas. And then here I got a random gift of cantaloupe seeds in a trade. It said random cantaloupe or surprise cantaloupe, something like that. Standard cantaloupe. So I'm waiting to harvest him. I generally don't grow cantaloupe. I grow these guys. They're kind of like, I guess the closest in taste is a honeydew, but these things are super, super sweet. Yeah, this trellis is 6 feet tall, and the snake gourd just keeps going. He's bigger than I am. I don't even know how much he weighs. It's a lot, I'll tell you that much. I'm waiting on him to turn red so I can save seed from him. Same with that one over there. And then we had a couple dangling in here that I'm gonna harvest today, tomorrow, something like that. I've harvested so many of them and they just keep coming. Just keep coming. Let's look at the size of it. It's huge. This is about the size that I generally harvest for eating. This is the other side of the spinning gourd trellis and more watermelon. Now, mind you, in previous years I've never been successful with watermelon, and I've got a couple. We've got him right here. He's still on the smaller end. We'll see what he does. And then this little guy right here, I think he's going through some things in life. And then this little guy here, I don't know if he's gonna make it do anything for me. We'll see. It looks, I think the name was Golden Midget, I think. And that might be what he is. But he's looking a little yellow too, so I don't know. So as of right now, I have 4 little watermelons. I think I have 3 plants. I think I have the Golden, Charleston, and Crimson. I think that's right. So I don't expect too many melons anyways. I think it's 1 or 2 melons per plant. So if we get all 4 of these to be harvested, I mean, that would be a great number. I'd be happy with that because I generally don't get a watermelon harvest anyways. They always fail. So hopefully this year I got it right. You know, I can grow peppers from seed. I can get a great harvest from them. I can grow lavender from seed. I can handle squash vine borers, but for some weird reason, I can't handle a watermelon. And another one from the watermelon vine. And Tennessee spinning gourd. Oh my goodness. I'm going to be seeing spinning gourds in my worst nightmares. They're going at least 8 feet in this direction, closer to 10 feet. They are spilling out over this way. They're everywhere. They're everywhere. I have had to prune the tunnel many times because I keep blocking the sides to where you can't get in. So it's just been a ton of vines. And here you see my pepper forest. All the way down. All the way down. And then you have this here. This is proof that even the big seed companies don't always have the best quality seed. This is actually a Macedonian pepper from Baker Creek Seed. Yep, Baker Creek. This packet of seed was actually diseased. I grew it last year. Same thing. Wilt took it down. All my Macedonian plants just went down. Nothing else is affected. Just the Macedonian peppers. I've actually reached out to them, and even though, you know, it took me 2 years to figure it out, they are going to replace, but that's the only thing that they will do is replace the seed. So if this were to enter my soil and I had a big outbreak of disease, that's about all I get. So even though you may think that other smaller seed companies may be more of a risky venture, just know that even Baker Creek, you can get diseased seed from them too. So I use a couple other seed companies and I haven't had any issue like this before, but I'm definitely showing you guys this just so that you know. Let's take a quick look at the purple UFO pepper. I actually got this one in trade and it sounded really cool, looked really cool on Google Images. So I'm going to show you guys what it looks like now. I don't have a taste test. I actually do not have the courage to try this one, so I'm not going to. I grew it for the sake of growing it, maybe turn it into some hot sauce, ferment some of them. So we'll see how that goes, but it hasn't been super productive, so it may be one of those that I just kind of add to something else. So here you go. Here's the pod right here. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? It's got the pretty purple blooms and the purple stems and slightly purple foliage, just like the Murasaki purple. And the Pippin's Golden Honey has some purple going on too. I'll show you guys that one. But I'm absolutely in love with the color of the peppers, the shape of the peppers. And it hasn't been super productive, like I said. So let's see here. I've not harvested anything off this plant. It's been kind of late. So let's see here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 little peppers. Now you hear the blossoms dropping. It's quite hot out here. It's been very hot. It hasn't been great weather, especially for the peppers and tomatoes. The tomatoes are really starting to suffer. We're going to see what happens with them. They're just not looking so hot. They tend to like to come back to life towards the end of September, so we'll see what kind of harvest we get out of them. I mean, I've gotten easily over 100 pounds of tomatoes, and that's even after my chickens decimated them up until about mid-June. So we've gotten a ton of tomatoes. But this plant, it hasn't grown as fast or quite as big as some of the others have, as you can see. But it did grow to it's probably about 3.5, closing in on 4 feet tall. And as you can see, my peppers touch each other. They hold hands. This gives me the best yield. Look at this. It's just a carpet, absolute carpet of pepper plants. And they're too bushy for you to really see underneath. just too bushy. I've got a few losses here from blossom end rot, but that's to be expected with the way the rain's been. If you're considering growing the purple UFO, like most other peppers, I mean, similar care, and it's got smaller leaves, so you may need to plant 2 or 3 plants right up against each other to protect the fruits more. But so far, I haven't really seen any sun scald on the fruits, and you can see this guy's just hanging out on top, and so are these, so they may be more resistant to scalding, which is a really good thing, because some of these sweet peppers, it's like they just get a little bit of the sun's rays and they just rot. So, but yeah, all in all, this one has been a great grower. Not as great as some of my others, not top grower, but it's been a good grower. It would be a great one to overwinter, especially if you like really hot peppers. It would probably produce way more if it was overwintered. Isn't that just the prettiest little flower? Look at that. This is the Italian white sunflower. I was so excited for this one, and I was so disappointed. These bees absolutely love it though. They are not disappointed, they're very happy. Anyways, the Italian white sunflower is supposed to be a pale white cream color, and as you can see, they're just yellow. I wasn't happy about that. I was really excited to have like a white or a pale yellow sunflower, and they're really small. I thought they were supposed to be a little bigger, but that's fine because I absolutely love the small sunflowers. But unfortunately it wasn't the color that I had wanted, so I'm wondering if maybe this is just a brighter one in the pack. So I'm gonna grow a lot more out next year and see how it turns out. But the bees absolutely love it, and that alone is enough of a reason for me to grow them again. So maybe it'll really grow on me. I already like it, but it just wasn't what I wanted because there's so many yellow sunflowers out there. So perhaps next year one of the other seeds will give me the color I'm looking for. It's always possible that maybe it cross-pollinated with a different sunflower because, like I said, I thought they were supposed to be a little bigger, a little on the smaller end. But we'll see. It's been very healthy. This plant's about 4.5 feet tall, and it's got 1 million little buds coming up on it. And I've got plenty of flowers that have already bloomed. So it's been great as far as growth and health, and like I said, this one thrived. Now I planted like 6 of them, and this is the only one that made it. The others like shriveled up and died. I don't really know why. I think some were eaten, and one of them was doing well, and then it just kind of gave up on me. So I don't know what's going on there. But this one is absolutely thriving. It made it past the seedling stage. I think next year I may put some light cover around the holes in the fabric just to kind of reflect a little heat. I'm thinking maybe that's what did them in. But we'll try again next year and see how that goes. Like I said, these little bees are absolutely loving it. But if you've been looking forward to growing the Italian white sunflower, just don't get your hopes up. May not be quite what you're looking for. I'm going to save some of my own seed this year too, just in case. Because this would be a great one to hand out to people that may be interested in growing little sunflowers, but they can't afford their own seeds. I mean, I know seeds can be kind of cheap, but sometimes people have to choose between seeds and putting food on the table, so I like to give seeds away to people who need them. Besides, how can someone not get joy out of a sunflower? I mean, I'm disappointed in these, and they still bring me great joy, so I just can't wait to see what the rest of the pack does next year. My sage is absolutely struggling in this heat. It looks like it's just going to keel over. It'll be fine though. It'll start to pop back up in the fall, looking great. But it's not happy right now, and it is not having it. is not having this heat at all. In here we've got some cucumbers. More cucumbers. One hiding down there. And then we got more cucumbers. This is salt and pepper. And then another cucumber hiding right there. Little cucumbers everywhere. And then we have Rampicante squash. And if you haven't grown it, it is definitely a worthy grow. Little guy hanging out right there. Now, the Rampicante is a great substitute for summer squash. I absolutely love it. And so far, no vine borers. As you can see, the plant is quite healthy for now. So we'll see what happens. Still waiting to see if it goes down due to the borers, and even the squash bugs haven't gotten it yet, so that is kind of wild. These are my seedlings for the fall crop of summer squash. I'm about to get these into the garden. They are really ready to go. But these will give us another round of squash. Squash bugs, they do take a toll on your plants, and as you know, I do inject my plants for borers, but during the middle of the summer, I go ahead and I let my plants go because they start to drop production, and if you start a second crop, you get far better production as a whole. Whether you replant in the same spot or plant in a different area, it's better to plant in a different area, but you can do both. You can definitely do both. I can't wait to get a second harvest out of summer squash for the year, so I will have to update you guys. I did plant way more than I normally would because these plants are going to have a very short time period to pump out some squash, so I'm hoping to have about a 2-week time period where we get flooded with a good 20, 30, maybe even 40 pounds of squash, you know, and hopefully get those put away into the freezer and dehydrated. I already have a lot that I dehydrated, but I'd like to save a little more for soups and stews and casseroles and whatnot during the winter. And over here we have the oh so beautiful basil tower. We have some Persian basil starting to bolt. This is the one that lost. And by lost, I mean it was the first one to bolt. But we're not looking too shabby over here. The lime basil is starting to recuperate from the drastic haircut. We have Genevieve's mammoth up here really stealing the show. I love my basil tower, it's just so cool.